What are you looking for,
I know I
John?
can pull this off.
Which shotgun shells are you looking
Oh, just my
Trap one.
future son-in-law.
Just trap
He's
stuff.
looking
Yeah,
for
let's see if I got the right one.
like 5 or 6 shot for shooting in the field.
Oh.
In case the birds get out too far ahead of them. I gave him a whole bunch of them. And
for? Does Steve reload? Steve
Lieberman? I don't think so. I went over to Fred Mogul's house one time about 5 years ago, and he was reloading. There was shot all over the floor in the basement. You're supposed to put them in the shell.
In the shell, in the shell right on the floor. Get a little slippery here.
Get my booster on.
I get my next Tuesday.
Medicine Shop has all kinds of vacancies. I did it today and for tomorrow, and they've got, you can just pretty much pick your time.
Really? I scheduled mine through Rite Aid probably
Oh,
3
I do
weeks ago.
have.
Medicine Shop, I just did it like a half an hour ago, because I was gonna wait till after the first of the year, and I thought, because I know I'm gonna get sick for 24 hours, like what happened the last 2
Most,
days.
no, everybody I know that's gotten the booster said they had, because they have the boost.
The Moderna is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
That's what I will be getting. They all said nothing.
Oh, really?
And like people that had severe reactions to.
Because I had a bad reaction the second shot of Moderna.
Yeah, I did too.
So I was gonna wait, and I thought, you know, with all this, I'm just gonna get it done.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I didn't,
Figured I'd give it a week. I didn't want to give it a weekend, I wanted to give it 3 weeks, so I don't have to put it out.
I had just the first available.
Well, if you look at the medicine shops, I mean, I could have picked 20 different times tomorrow. I could have picked times this afternoon.
the guy from our office just walked in and.
Yeah, I showed him, he must be churning them out.
And we were out in the field, boom, and I shot
But
it.
yeah, I mean, I
I
could
might
have
have
picked
to-
that up tomorrow.
Yeah, I might have to
I
check
couldn't
with them.
hear
I wouldn't want to do it tomorrow.
6, 7
Just
hours.
in case I'm not available, even if it's not affected by the
That's never
holiday
been
rate
shot.
late run, but,
Well, that's why I figured tomorrow,
Yeah.
but the holiday
I've got a
weekend.
Ruger.
I just figured I wanted to get my people.
And I bought it at the
Well,
Marine
back
Corps
this 2 weeks
Exchange.
ago, like, I'm in the
There's
room
Ann.
because I was in New York yesterday.
And I asked the gunnery sergeant who was running the exchange, I said, what's the muzzle
I'm sorry?
velocity of this gun? He says,
Yes.
like a brick hitting a plate glass window.
Okay, I shot this deer on Monday.
Call the meeting to order. It's
You could actually
3
see the
o'clock.
bullet hit. Really?
And we'll have roll call.
Tom Boucher,
Here.
Dave Reeser,
Here.
Steve Brunner, John Woodward,
Here.
Tom Hall.
Here. Okay, and we'll start off with public comment. Any
Just
public?
wanted a few words to say to update on, I saw that you have it on the agenda to discuss about the water issue later, you know, it's down below. First of all, you know, I just wanted to say that I find it's a bit regrettable that we have this back and forth, you know, I'm how should I say, on your side. I mean, I'm not here to, you know, bash or anything. I changed the water filter, you know, and throughout the year, and it comes out okay, and I've told you so. But every once in a while, just like I had now on the 25th, I find that crap inside, and it concerns me. And other than bringing it to your attention, I don't know, you want me to not bring it to your attention, fine, but who does this serve? So, in the meantime, since the last meeting, I did I bought some water tests, and I did some water tests, you know, that you can buy them for $30 at Lowe's, you can order them on Amazon. And did tests on running water. So the water that I showed you was the water inside the filter. It's not running water. So that's stuff that it gets accumulated there. I haven't tested that water. I don't know what's in it, but running water, it's somewhat consistent to what we find, what we have in the books. The good news is I didn't find any coliform bacteria in it, but the chlorine is high and the hardness is high, and the pesticides also kind of, that's what I found. I don't know, but the thing is, the bottom line is we have these discharges. At some point, they discharge some crap, and we don't know when, how. I mean, I don't know. I have no way as a resident to find out when and how my filter fills up with that stuff. And that's the point. I think that's what we have to seriously, decently address. How do we have a consistency here, So that's all I'm saying, and I'd like to know, because when I find that, I get frustrated. I say, well, how long has this been here? A month, 2 months,
We
3
have
months, 2
some
days?
Information
Okay,
forthcoming.
that's it. That's all. Thank you.
And as long as it's not affecting your health, you're pretty healthy.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I still look okay.
Okay,
I'm not green.
Western Burks. Chris or hi, Chris?
I defer to Dave, he usually has more recent information than I do.
Oh, gee, boy, you're in trouble.
Also, you're gonna catch up too, huh?
Yeah,
Well, the operations, I've not heard of any issues at the moment, so I think we're pumping out good water, as far as I know. I think you're working on a draft contingency plan, I think.
I'm
Chip has
working
said
on
that.
some information for you guys to do the drought.
Right,
plan.
right, so that's in the works, that's no issue at all. And I know we had discussed a 7% rate increase, I felt very badly about it. The issue I have is, first of all, we did not collect any money from the government regarding the pandemic, and our sales clearly went down, and our costs have gone up, so something has to give. If we don't sell more water, we have to make up the increase in cost some way, and that some way is rate increase. And I think we've done a diligent work on the budget. Chris, you can chime in if you wish.
and I think between, what we said last month, nothing's changed.
Yeah, chemicals, some of the chemicals, chlorine, I think went up like 200 and some percent. I think overall chemicals were up dramatically. Lord knows our union contract comes due July 1. You tell me what's gonna happen there. Now you're talking 5% or better in these recent negotiations, so I don't know. And of course, the electricity is going, well, everything that's going on, and those are our major costs. And unless we offset it with increased sales or increased income, we have to get the rate. That's my concern, and I don't have a ready answer for it. Because I sure as hell don't wanna come in every year with 7% increases. I think we've been pretty good, I think we've, 2-3% a year, something like that, Chris?
As long as I can remember.
Yeah. So we've been trying to keep it moderate, but this sure is. So that's all I have to say on the rate increase.
Inflation's everywhere.
Easy what you say about chemicals, remember, I'm chemically dependent.
Well, chemical, interesting, the chlorine, if you recall about 3, 4, 5 years ago, the state mandated we had to put 10 times, not 10%, 10 times more chlorine in the water. That mandate came from the state. That was what, 3, 4 years ago, something like
That
that?
wasn't out, I think it was just a couple years ago.
Yeah, maybe it might have been 2 years ago. 10 times. So, and you
Yeah,
have
you-
no option in that.
I think Chip was in here and gave us
Yeah.
a.
I can back up what they said. I asked my wife on, because they buy chlorine a hell of a lot more than Western Berks does. And they went up, their vendor went up 237%.
Yeah.
What they sell at Brentec.
Ours did too for the pool. We stockpiled as much chlorine as we possibly could for next year, knowing price increases were coming.
I know we've done that with some of our chemicals in anticipation of the increases in 2022, but you only buy so much. But we did do some of that this year.
And to be clear, council approved the rate increase last week, so.
Well, as I said, I think we all felt badly about it, but, figures don't lie or lies don't figure or something. That's all I have to say on that.
All right, it was, any other updates from the list there? Route thing was attached.
Right, well, that's,
and
yeah,
I guess the
that's
other
being
updates,
worked,
well, you got everything.
yes, I did, yes. The normal operation seems to be working fine at the moment.
All right, zoning and codes.
Are you gonna comment on the water situation on, just hypothetically on Cardinal Road? When one
It's
neighbor.
down here.
Later on the agenda.
It's later on the agenda.
Gotcha, okay, sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I do have a question on myself, so.
All right, zoning and codes.
So my report's pretty self-explanatory, some updates since this went out. The hearing on the 16th for 1295 Penn Avenue, the relief was requested. And then scrolling down to the property maintenance code report. Thank you, Chris.
Yep.
Some updates on that. For 44 Cheltenham Drive, this actually would not go through a citation process because it was a zoning violation notice that was issued. It would go through the civil suit process. The owner responded last Friday, and requested until January 3rd to submit building permit plans and schedule an inspection, so Kraft was agreeable to that. The new deadline is January 3rd of 2022. 1239 Delaware Avenue, the hearing's been continued until January 11th of 2021. For 1001 Hill Avenue, which is the Met. Citation was filed on December 6th of 2021, so far no plea has been entered. For 1040 North Park Road, I wanted to, bring to the committee's attention that there was significant progress made since we sat down and met with them. So, that's the unit Reading. That is a hopefully positive outcome, and I hope it will continue moving forward. They have also applied for a permit which was issued last Tuesday to repair the damaged sign. So they did decide instead of taking it down, they're gonna repair it.
Hallelujah.
Geez, I just had that on the list.
Yes.
They're gonna repair it
Yes,
or take it down?
repair it.
Only been 11 months.
Are they operating as a motel?
They are now. Yes.
How long did they say for the sign? Or didn't they?
The permit was just issued last Tuesday. I would give them a couple of weeks between supply chain issues and just the time of the year that it is. For 715 Old Mill Road, which is also owned by the Metropolitan, specifically Unit F1, a citation was filed for that violation also on December 6th. So far, no plea has been entered. And for another unit, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the same one. That would be the total of updates to the report since it was issued.
So is this related to the flooding this summer
No,
or this fall?
no.
I don't know, got repaired or checked or whatever?
Yes,
I mean, there's no other complaints from anybody about, well, they didn't fix that yet or something.
no, that was all taken care of, I would say within a month or so of the actual event.
Okay. I just have one other question. Do the trash cans need lids?
Yes. They should be, trash when being placed for collection should be in a completely leak-proof sealed container.
Okay, who would check that to see if that's being followed? Is that a craft
Correct.
thing?
It's a property maintenance code requirement.
I see many that are lidless, I'll say. Many, not just
I can make a note for them to add that to their general list, though I would say in the general list of fires they're going out to try and put out, that's not at the top of the list. But if they're at a property looking for something or receive a complaint or just in general see a property where there's not lids on the trash cans.
They can drive down any alley the day before trash and find mucho. Anyway, I think that needs to be passed on to them, because that's part of their job, and The cans I've seen they get knocked over, and then the bags are out, and the wild animals are after it, and beside that, there's can be quite odoriferous too.
I will ask them to check for it.
Okay.
I don't know how it is here in Wyomissing, but we have some rentals in West Reading, and, you know, we have one that's vacant right now, and Peggy said, why don't you take some of those trash bags out and put them in a can and put the lid on them, which I did. Well, in 10 minutes, there were a dozen white little trash bags around them that weren't ours. And I don't know where, you know, I wasn't looking out the door to try to catch them or anything, but, you know, it wasn't ours. And I said, I talked to the borough manager and the codes person, Kathy and Dean, and I said, hey, you know, we like to play by the rules, but I don't know where they come from, and they can't come from West Reading, and I presume they can't come from Wyomissing because we have pickup, but I think they're coming across the bridge.
I've talked to owners over the years where, you know, a violation was issued for a mattress or toilet or, you know, a large object that was dumped in somebody's front yard that we assume was theirs, and they were like, it's not mine. But unfortunately, once it's on your property, it's your responsibility.
Thank you for that endorsement.
You're welcome.
I
Okay,
would trash
well,
cans.
How about cards?
At the beginning of the thing. And what was the most, first page, what's the most recent outcome from Cardinal?
I'm sorry?
What's the most recent outcome from Cardinal Road other than 1129?
I've not received a response, nor to my knowledge has Kraft from Mr. Jadik indicating if he intends to make the repairs by January 12th, will be making the repairs in general, but needs a time extension beyond January 12th, or is attempting to find a new contractor.
How many more extensions are we gonna give?
I would say that would be the
We are
last one.
being played.
No, you're not.
It's not public comment. In response to your comment, Bill, I am affording Mr. Jadik the same luxury of time I would any other resident, treating him the same way I would treat anyone else. If January 12th rolls around and there's no response and no repairs and no contract, a citation will be filed.
Okay. January 12th. All right, let's see, have we got everything else that was on there? Notices. Anything else on that list, Michelle?
Not unless anybody has any questions.
Anyone? Okay. All right, and sanitary sewer.
There's, pay application number 4 for the final retainage that we're looking for a recommendation, $21,789.50.
We need a motion for that.
I'll make that motion.
That's
Second.
payment, I'm sorry, that's payment number 4.
4 and final.
Yeah. 4 and the final.
Mm-hmm.
Together, Chris, or separate?
Well, the 4th is the final, is that correct, or there are
Yes.
2?
No, payment application number 4 is the final payment application for
Okay.
retainage.
Do we have to go back to the change order part, or that's a different issue?
Jim just does those to consolidate, something that Phyllis had wanted with almost every capital project now. There's a bid price, but then the quantities change up or down, and they just do that final change order to make all the payment applications jive with the bid price. It really means nothing other than Phyllis.
So in this case, it's included in the agenda just for information purposes to let the committee know what the status of the current contract price is. There's no action required. The only
Okay, well, it
action-
said that underneath, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Okay,
She did that so we can keep track of each individual
Okay.
project, understand
that's
that-
fine.
how it compares.
I get it, it just, I was going by what was on the sheet there. Okay, so. I'll
In this
make the-
case, you can see when I look at this, the bid price was, $231,781.44. It really, when all was said and done, it was $217,000.
Right,
The quantities of the televising or the cleaning were less than what was on the bid package.
okay, no, I figured something like that. Okay, but I do need a motion for the number 4
So moved.
application. Okay, Steve makes a motion.
Second.
Second, John. And, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, guys have it. Anything else under that, Jim?
Have it.
We're working on the 2022 project. We'll have more information at the next meeting. We should probably bid it sometime in March, I would say.
All right, the pump station,
Still working on that. If you remember, that would be, we're like to bid it late 2022 to get it done in early 2023. It's a process. But in addition to that, I don't know, I think Michelle sent out an email a few weeks back. For the second time now, we had a break in the force main. When that same pump station pumps, the pipe that it goes through runs through the parking lot of the shops at Missing, up to Woodland Road, all the way up Woodland Road to the crest of the hill there by where Macy's was, or Bontown, before it starts going gravity. When they built that shopping center, that area in the parking lot, they had to lay new pipe because the elevations changed. And this is the second break we've had on that force main since that was put in. I think it was like 2006, which is very unusual. We had to call Slopkin to fix it. It was like a Friday night. But if we have a third one there, I don't know if it's the soil that's around the pipe.
There are no sinkholes, it just seems like
No.
settling.
This was a hole the size of, half the size of this cell phone in the pipe. And I'm surmising, I don't know if I'm correct or not, that whenever that pump station runs, that pipe, even though where it broke is a quarter mile away from the pump station, it has very slight vibration because of the sewage flowing through it. And over years and years and years, every time it runs, a little vibration. If there's a small rock or something right there, it just rubs it until it's all over. Because there's water mains in there too that we're not having any problems with, but they're not off and on. There's no vibration, but there's vibration on this pipe.
The photo you took of it too would seem to prove that theory.
Yeah. So I hope we don't get a third one, but it's unusual to have 2 of these on relatively new pipe in 2 or 3 years. Very unusual.
is that the hole by the Woodland, more toward Woodland Road side?
This was right in front of the on the border restaurant.
So we still had, are they gonna repave that or something? I saw there was some
Yeah,
horses.
we will.
Horses were laying there. Okay, the Spring Township interceptor.
They are still working on that. Our main issue there right now is with our road project on Reading Boulevard, trying to make sure that they get that done before we pave the road. But I have no definite information. I keep talking to Spring when you have a bid date or a bid award to let us know, but.
Has anybody identified the residents right there? That'd be like Dr. Sweet Spot, right?
Yeah, no, not yet, but come the new year, with any of the street work or that, people will get notice from me, but not yet.
Even on the Spring Township piece?
I would put that on Spring Township, but I would supply them addresses and things like that.
Okay, great.
All right. Water.
All right, I have some comments from Mr. Jadek's comments at the last council meeting. Mr. Jadek, the water you showed at the council meeting, you implied at that time that it was your tap water.
No, I'm
And,
sorry,
well, now you're changing the tune a little bit.
Oh, it cannot
I
be.
knew-
Let him
I knew that wasn't tap water.
I'm sorry if that came
It
out.
was
that-
manipulated in some fashion.
No,
It was impossible.
no,
and
that
that-
was from the filter.
Let him finish,
At
please.
at the meeting at that time, this whole room was under the impression that was your tap water.
I
That's the way you
apologize
left
for
it
that.
night.
That was not my intent.
And then a few years ago, there was a tree down in the right of way up near your house. And I got a call on it, I sent my guys out to see if we needed to react to it. And at the time, the picture that they took, it was literally at the curb line, it was not in the street. And I told them, let it be, we'll get it tomorrow, so we're not working overtime. And the picture that you sent or gave to this committee at some point after that, showed it like a third of the way out into the street.
At least.
So
My picture was the next morning from my call. I don't know.
my
What
issue
can I tell
is,
you?
I can't take, after these incidents, I can't take any of your accusations seriously anymore. There's manipulation going on, and it just makes me suspect of anything now, because of these two instances. I know you don't get the satisfaction you want from the borough, but it has nothing to do with your ethnicity, or however you pronounce that. It's because you have a hard time, to me anyway, with my issues, speaking the truth, because I'm suspect now. And it's just exhausting dealing with month-to-month issues. Trees, steps, snow, leaves, parking, policing, signage, traffic, neighbors. It's just endless. And the things that involve me out of there, I'm just suspect of the facts at this point. That's all I want to say.
Well, I made the comment, and,
No,
well,
The piece to Mr. Jadek's comments at council last week I wanted to address are that Western Berks Water Authority does independently certified water testing as required with DEP and state requirements. Those test results are given to the borough, are part of the published annual water quality report that Jim is required to provide. And to my understanding, other than times that we've had water main breaks or water main replacements, that there were testing issues and boil water notice advisories were placed, there has never been a regular test that has come back with any type of positive result.
That's why.
We sample for chlorine and coliform at 9 locations throughout the borough every month. 9 times a month we sample, along with all the sampling they do at the plant for some other items. The chlorine thing is true, and what Dave says is true. The DEP has made public water systems up their chlorine content to try to offset a positive coliform test. And I always joke about it. I said 10 years from now they're gonna say, what the hell are we doing? We're making people drink too much chlorine. But for now, those are the rules. And we did, when you complained about this the first time, we did sample for 13 items. And the analysis performed at 48 Cardinal Road was within acceptable ranges of both the PA, DEP's, MCL's maximum controlled levels and Western Berks' goal. pH, chlorine, iron, manganese, monochloramine, free ammonia, UVT, I don't know what UVT is, TDS, that's total dissolved solids, nitrate, nitrite, alkalinity, hardness, and calcium, all are within normal parameters. The water main in your street was put in 1997, and for a water main, that's a pup. That'll be in place for another 75 years yet till we have to think about replacing it.
Jim, I don't know if that is on the same line as the way our club is, but, you know.
Same zone, not same line, same zone.
I'm on the board of directors of the YR Club, and I asked them, what do the filters look like and so forth. And they're saying, we replace them, you know, accordingly to state regulations, and we've never had any.
I'm gonna say, you put a
excessive,
filter on the water,
debris.
it's gonna collect some dirt, that's what it is. But is it excessive? I don't think so.
Does anybody else have complaints in that area?
I can tell you,
No.
55 Cardinal Road, the water's fine, because I've asked the people that live there. I own the house.
Well, I'm only one member of this committee, but Mr. Jadick you are like the little boy who cried wolf. I don't believe a word that comes out of your mouth about anything. And it's your fault, not mine.
May I mean, okay, you all spoke, okay, and I say if you, I would refer back to what I said at the beginning of the
Make
meeting.
it short.
I'm making it short. It's regrettable that we are in this situation. My intent is nowhere to that. I sincerely regret that it came out, and that's why I was, later on, I computed what Mr. Collins said, that his water is fine. That's not what was my intention. I tell you, I take the thing down, and every once in a while I get that crap. That's all I have. I mean, you can believe me or not. If you want, Jim, you can, you know what I did? I'm gonna order now a clear filter housing. I've ordered a Culligan one, I've seen them, they come in clear housings. I'm gonna replace, because the current one is just white. I don't know when it fills out with crap. So, to fix that, I ordered a clear one. So I'm gonna see when the stuff piles up inside. That's what I'm trying to do.
Thank you.
So-
Anything else with water, Jim?
No.
Okay, streets.
There's a, this is just like the sewer, payment application number 4, final retainage for the 50/50 sidewalk program, $7,959.57.
You said they did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
All right.
So moved.
Second. Moves, Tom second to pay this number 4 and, pertaining to this. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
We have the street bid work, bid documents almost together, and there's a proposed bid opening date of February 22nd. Just information
For 2022.
for 2022.
Good.
Need a motion on the parade route?
We're going to do everything we can to avoid the street work having anything to do with the parade.
Fourth of July parade.
Yeah. They're not gonna be able to do Garfield Avenue until after the parade. If they wanna do some curb work prior to that, they're gonna have to do it, and at least a week before, get any safety fencing down, any construction vehicles down, clean it up, but they can't do any actual street work till after the parade.
Gotcha. And they'll know this, I
This,
suppose.
we're having a pre-bid meeting, and that will be spelled out.
That's good. All right, let's see. Anything else? So we won't need to alter the parade route. I
No.
think.
I knew that was a, no go. I figured that out.
Okay, just checking. Cambridge Avenue.
I don't know what to say there.
Yeah, Nick, do you know anything about that one?
The gravel bar work, we had the permit, and he did that in-house. The GP 11 is for, replacing a pipe, that's collapsing behind Sweets there that we wanna put a concrete culvert in.
And that's part of the next agenda item, number 10, under the grant agreement. So
Okay.
that's probably why that is still sitting on the agenda. So to segue nicely into number 10, after many months of working with PennDOT to have them approve flipping the money that the borough received originally for 4th Street under PennDOT's MTF program over to other identified projects, which now sit at the replacement of the pedestrian bridge at the Stone House that the emergency repairs were made on for last year's 4th of July, and what we're calling the Cambridge Ave culvert replacement. PennDOT has authorized that. They sent me the grant agreement last week, which is about 50 pages long. I just need authorization to execute the grant and move forward with that so I can send it back to PennDOT. They then take another 30 to 60 days to execute everything on their end. This is a 70-30 split, so we have to pay all costs up front and are then reimbursed 70% of the total project cost. This is in the approved budget for 2022, both projects.
And nothing would be done there then until,
Nothing would be done until PennDOT executes the contract, otherwise it's not eligible for reimbursement.
and within the dates of their, what, permission by, is it fish or something, or what?
Yes, because the Wyomissing Creek is a high-quality trout stream. There is a time frame for which the bridge can be replaced and when it cannot.
So it says here winter of 22, 23.
I don't know that we're gonna get it done in winter of 22 based off of PennDOT's time to execute the grant contract and us having not already even ordered the bridge, so I would expect 23.
Okay, but we're okay with that schedule. Oh. Okay, now does that, how much does that enlarge at? Is it enlarging the,
The bridge,
yeah, no, the pipes there?
the culvert,
I don't, no, I don't think it enlarges it. The issue there is to access the other side of that pipe with a backhoe or a truck, we can't do it now. There's no plan B access other than driving across that culvert, and we don't trust it to drive a truck or a backhoe over if we ever had to. That's the issue. It's not for flood control per se.
Right. So that won't probably ever go away, that part of it.
No.
Okay. So you need a motion for,
execution of the grant agreement by the borough.
okay?
So moved.
Steve moves, Tom second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, Verizon, number 11 there.
No action needed, that was just an update as to what happened between the last meeting and council last week. We'll
Is
wait to get Berks County Planning Commission review comments, which has not yet happened.
Is that pole on Penn Avenue on the boulevard there, is that one of those?
It's a small wireless communication facility, but that has nothing specifically to
Not
do
hooked
with.
in with this.
It is, but it isn't, in that the main reason these amendments were being proposed to the zoning ordinance is to bring us in compliance with new state law regulations.
So are there any more poles like that gonna be added, or are they hooking on to stuff that already, I thought, my interpretation was they were putting it on stuff that already existed.
As of now, I've not received any new permit applications, but again, the draft ordinance has nothing to do with, well, in some extent, it has nothing to do with the borough's already approved. It's to take our already approved regulations and bring them into compliance with new state law. So there were things in our ordinance we were not permitting that the state said you can or can't do this. So we have to comply with state regulations.
Okay. I didn't know if they were gonna be planting those things any other places.
As of now, I've not received any applications to do so, but yes, they could do so in the future.
And they can just do it then, or do we have to approve the spot?
I mean, we have to approve a building permit, but outside of that, we have to be pretty open to where we allow them.
Yeah, there are still some permitting regulations at Wood Park, but they're limited when it's within the public right.
Okay, I was just wondering, cause it's like, there it is. Okay, number 12, Green Lake.
12 and 13, you can really lump together. Traffic planning Jim uses for this type of stuff is submitted, you know, what you call it, plans or to PennDOT for review, and as soon as PennDOT gives them their stamp of approval, it'll go out to bid. And it should be done this summer.
So we're closing in on that one, right?
Yes.
Okay. So do we?
I don't think it needs any action.
Nope.
The 12 says it did there, but I guess, no. Just the request for the extension.
Do you need that extension, Jim? Jim. Motion is needed to table, approve, or deny recommending to council to approve the public works director to request an extension for completion of construction by
Oh,
November.
that's a good point.
I would say do it, just
Yeah,
to
it can't hurt to do it.
So moved.
Second.
Steve moves, Tom second to execute, that action, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Has the advertising been
No,
approved?
the next, to advertise for bids, I believe that was done a long time
Yeah.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't need,
I wanna say like September, October.
okay, progress there. Park Road Bridge.
After last Tuesday's council meeting, I prepared a letter and sent it to Tom Dunbar at Senator Schwank's office on behalf of Borough Council, stating that we respectfully request PennDOT to re-examine their maintenance responsibilities and would be agreeable to them only repainting the interior portions of the bridge that are visible to motorists, and that we have no interest in a community mural being painted on the bridge.
Do they do the murals?
No.
They hire somebody like that.
Yellow trucks.
Yeah, hire a guy like that, Mr. Miller, who does that stuff, is that where they go after?
Well, this guy at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, something
Not the
appears.
two-
It's
not the
spray can,
two
right?
end.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, the emergency contract, 15.
This may need some Chris thoughts here. Spring Township opened bids. They got one bidder, Sloup, who's the current provider of the emergency contract. Spring puts out the bid, and we just piggyback on theirs. The Township of Spring is going to approve that on at their December 28th meeting. I don't know if we have to wait for them to approve it first, or we're gonna
Have we notified them that we intend to participate?
Yes.
And did we give them any units? or
No, we're just piggybacking
just
off of
on the
their
pricing?
units, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no bottom line price, it's just price for this backhoe, price for that truck, and an hourly rate.
So they open the bids?
They opened the bids, and they're gonna award it at their supervisors meeting on
Next
December
Tuesday.
28th.
Okay, I would recommend a motion to approve the borough's participation in the Spring Township contract conditioned upon the approval of the base contract by the township.
Sounds reasonable.
All right, Jim,
So moved.
second? Second by Dave. All right, and then that's for the kind of work like over at the shops, right?
For that,
That kind of
and
thing.
probably use the same contract for that sewer issue we're having there at Woodland Road at the mall in January or so.
Right. Or any of those unforeseen sinkholes that they gotta jump in on. Okay, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, the Rawa letter.
Chief Phillips received, this letter dated November 22nd from the Reading Area Water Authority requesting a letter of support, and was befuddled as to why he received it. Maybe 3 weeks later, Jim finally received his own copy, so we've now gotten the same letter twice addressed to different people from Rawa, requesting a letter of support be sent from the borough to them, supporting the Onalani Lake project.
Which is, I thought that was complete.
My understanding, and because we did it with emergency management too, was that, for whatever reason, they want a list of people who are saying, yeah, go ahead and look for funding. There's no obligation for money from us.
Is this,
They wanna be able to pursue that somehow
I
together.
think they're contacting the police because the failure of the dam would be a
They're on the list.
community-wide disaster, and the police would be part of the disaster response, so I think that's the justification.
The emergency operations plan is like those other ones, it goes out to 100 different people that are involved, so.
I will make motion, I mention that they are our backup for our water system. So we rely on them heavily, and they also do a lot of our meter work now. So we're becoming more dependent on Rob on their expertise. So,
I'd also add the last paragraph says a simple email response supporting the concept will be greatly appreciated, so this isn't gonna take any extraordinary amount of time.
So let's do it, just put only one letter from the borough, we don't need to
Yeah.
send
No, you don't
the
need
fire
to.
company, the police department, everywhere else.
I can do that on behalf of Borough Council and all respective departments.
Okay, so I got a motion, second,
Second.
second Tom, all in favor? Aye. Meeting change date, or the date for the meeting that's changed to the,
So January 18th, the normal infrastructure date for January was already changed because the 17th was Martin Luther King Day, Borough Hall was closed, so it was moved to Tuesday the 18th. I will be in Hawaii from January 14th until January 22nd, and as much as I have no problem doing certain things while I'm on vacation, there is also a 5-hour time difference. So out of respect to that and infrastructure moving to 12 p.m. starting in 2022, I'd request we change the meeting date from the 18th to the following Monday, the 24th.
motion for that,
So moved.
second? Second Dave, all in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, changed.
And again, just a friendly reminder, 12 p.m., not 3 p.m., starting in January.
that be for every month then?
Yes,
After that?
all infrastructure meetings will be at 12 p.m.
Oh,
next year.
That's where you get lunch.
You're out.
Barbara will be happy to hear that.
Yeah, the cookies are good.
Maybe I'll be a guest once in a while. That's it. Okay, there's nothing else on the agenda, old business or new business that has to be added there?
Non-agenda items?
That would be under new business.
He asked new business.
What is it that we're doing?
I'm not aware of any old business or new business that needs to be added to the agenda.
Okay,
Any old business we discussed previously that's not on here that needs to be discussed, or new business would be something not on the agenda that
Right.
needs to be discussed.
okay.
I do have information for executive session. I do not anticipate any action being required by the committee for that executive session and the information that will be presented.
So just come back into session to dismiss.
Adjourn.
Adjourn.
So my question is if we can have public comments on non-agenda items, that's what I raised my hand.
There's nothing on there for public comments at the end, is that?
I'm trying to understand the procedure because you usually keep the non-agenda items at the end.
Is it only for council?
Actually, no, we've
Chris,
only
or
done that
not?
at
Yeah,
council.
for the committee, the first public comment period is for all subjects, not just agenda items.
Okay.
So it's only for a council meeting as opposed to committee.
Correct.
That wasn't clear. I mean, last time we did. Anyway, so I just wanted to say a few things about the construction, if you're interested about that.
Yeah, we'll just get it done, yes, get it done. All right, then we'll adjourn to executive, and we'll come back in only for adjournment.